Stoicism gets marketed as the badass philosophy, the philosophy of warriors, the philosophy of pain tolerance, the philosophy of discipline, toughness, hardship, and standing there with a stone face while life punches you in the mouth. And there's truth in that. Stoicism is tough. It does demand discipline. It does ask you to face hardship without falling apart. It does tell you to stop whining, stop blaming the world, and get control of yourself. That part is real. But I think there's another way to look at Stoicism. Stoicism is also the chill philosophy. Not soft, not weak, not lazy. Chill. There's a difference. Think about the calm guy, the guy who never seems rattled, the guy who gets insulted and just shrugs, the guy who gets bad news and doesn't make it worse by freaking out, the guy who walks into chaos and somehow lowers the temperature in the room. Think about people and characters who just ooze chillness no matter what happens. Both real and fictional people who have a superhuman level of calm and cheerful spirit regardless of the situation. Characters like Ted Lasso, Jimmy Buffett, Bob Ross, Keanu Reeves, Mr. Rogers, Walt Disney, Doc Holliday from Tombstone. Think of the dude from The Big Lebowski. Now, I'm not saying the dude is a stoic role model in every way. He's not exactly Marcus Aurelius in a bathrobe, but there is something about that unbothered, chill energy that is worth learning about and practicing. The world is loud, people are angry, everybody is offended, everybody wants a reaction, and then there's this guy who just kind of moves through it without letting every little thing take over his nervous system. That's not the whole of Stoicism, but it is a huge benefit. This mental body armor is something that every cop can benefit from. How do you be more chill? How do you be cool, both in life and on the job? Stoicism teaches us that the event is not the injury. Our judgment about the event is what turns it into the injury. Epictetus said, "It is not things that disturb us, but our judgments about things." That is one of the most important lines in all of philosophy, especially for cops. Wrapping your mind around this concept and actually using it helps you be calm, cool, and collected in all sorts of disturbing situations. Because our job gives us 1,000 opportunities a day to get worked up. Someone disrespects you. Someone lies to your face. Someone ignores a lawful order. Someone complains about something that isn't your fault. Someone records you, baits you, insults you, tests you, or tries to drag you into their emotional mess. And right there in that moment, you get a choice. You get to make a judgment about it. You can decide it's very important and focus on the negative. You can react like they own your mind, or you can stay cool instead. During each incident, you can decide how you want to think about it, what story you want to tell yourself about it. You literally control how much importance you give it and how you choose to see the situation. That's the chill part. A Stoic officer doesn't need to win every argument. A Stoic officer doesn't need to correct every insult. A Stoic officer doesn't need to prove he's in charge by getting louder. He already knows he's in charge of the only thing that really belongs to him, his own mind. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That's not just a nice quote. That's patrol-level wisdom. You don't control the call. You don't control the suspect. You don't control the complainant. You don't control the weather, staffing, dispatch, politics, media, social media, command staff, or the fact that the universe apparently decided to send you 3 ridiculous calls right before end of shift. But you do control your conduct, your tone, your words, your face, your breathing, your report, your tactics, your decision-making. That's where the job is won or lost. Most of the time, cops don't get in trouble because the situation was hard. The situation is always hard. They get in trouble because they get baited out of their professionalism. They get annoyed, they get embarrassed, they get angry, they get sarcastic, they get contemptuous, they get uncool. And once you get uncool, you start making bad decisions. You start shooting from the hip. You start arguing, you start escalating with your ego instead of your authority. You stop solving the problem and become part of the problem. That's why calm is not weakness. Calm is a tactical advantage. The calm officer hears more, sees more, thinks better, writes better, uses force better, speaks better, and when everyone else watches the body camera later, the calm officer looks like a professional. That matters because your job is to be effective, and emotional control is part of effectiveness. Here's another Stoic way to be chill. Seneca said, "The greatest remedy for anger is delay." I know it sounds simple. I also know that it's not always easy. Delay. Pause. Breathe. Don't answer the insult immediately. Don't fire back just because your pride got touched. Don't let the first emotional spark become the fire that burns down your credibility. Take 1 second. That 1 second can save your career. That 1 second can keep a citizen complaint from turning into discipline. That 1 second can stop a bad call from becoming a viral video. That 1 second can separate the professional from the person who just happened to be wearing a uniform. That 1 second can make you a leader. That's why the chill version of Stoicism matters, because some officers think toughness means being intense all the time. They think it means barking at people, staying angry, acting hardened, and carrying every insult like it's a personal vendetta that must be avenged. Real toughness is being able to say, "I'm not going to let your bad day become my bad decision." Real toughness is realizing that the insult isn't actually a threat to anything important, that getting involved in the drama of the moment is a choice. Real toughness is not fearing that every little situation will end in personal ruin. Real power is the power to control your negative instincts and emotional reactions. That is Stoicism. That is strength. That is chill.